Hello, it's been about a week or so. I'm back in the studio again today, and this has dried quite nicely. Mainly I think because of using the underpainting white and the Prussian blue. So it is actually quite sort of touch dry. So I think today I'm going to be able to start building this up with some other colours, maybe refine the underpainting a bit. I'm going to decide whether I'm going to do an underpainting on the actual sort of background bit, so all this stuff around here. I haven't decided that yet, but I think first things first, I need to sort of crack out some paints, and then I'm going to make a start. So I think I've gotten quite far with the underpainting now. I'm quite happy with how the hands are starting to look. They look a bit more three-dimensional, less like sausages. And I think the lighting on the face is really good. I think we've got a sense of sort of 3 dimensions there in terms of the values. So I think the next thing I'm going to start is working on, say, some of the background bits. Let this bit dry. And just see how we get on. One thing I have been doing just to sort of like make this faster is using a quick drying medium. So I mix this with the paint, so when I'm doing this layer, I mix it in with the paint, and it means that I can work on this and it'll actually be pretty dry and create like kind of a nice sort of barrier for when I next come back at it. But you can see, because it's mostly dry, I'm kind of pretty much just dry brushing and like pushing the paint around a little bit just to kind of nudge things into the right direction. And it's a lot easier once you've already got a layer that's dry underneath. You kind of have to do a bit less work and you're less likely to completely ruin it. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So I'm going to get cracking on with the next bit. Oh. Right, so I'm pretty happy with the progress I've made today. There's quite a lot of it actually done. We've got the main sort of background bits, we've got these sort of like nice flows. We've got some of the shading in and some of the colours from the background. I decided not to do those in monochrome just because I think at this point it might as well just be in colour. I don't need to work out the values as much with the surrounding bit. It's a lot more important in the actual figure itself. So I think the last thing I'm probably going to do is just add a little bit of orange here for the top. And then I'm pretty much going to call it a day, I think. So yeah, let's just finish this off. Right, okay, I think I've used the last of sort of like the orange on my palette now, so as you can see, I've managed to make it through quite a lot of the paint that I've got there. I don't like leaving things or like wasting where possible. So when I'm heading towards the end of a session, I'll normally just try and load on the paint as much as possible and just use what I've got. And then for the next session, I'll put on some fresh paint. So I think I'm going to be leaving it there for a week. And I'm going to come back and see how we do when this has had a chance to dry off a little bit, and I can start adding in some more proper shadows, some more detail, and then start actually glazing and adding some colour to the figure, because right now it's black and white, although it is me. But yeah, I need some colour in my face, so I'm a little bit grey and washed out. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the week, and I'll see you on the next one.